So I'll start the presentation. Title is Japan-China relations. What should we do? So of course, there are plenty of explanation. The China and Russia combination recently, but at the same time, today I'm focusing on mainly China. But at the same time, it is true Japan is facing two countries at the same time. Indeed, there are some interesting survey um, between the Japan and China. For example, the percentage of the Japanese respondents to the public survey um, with a poor impression of the China has seen no improvement over the last and currently stand at 90%, more than 90% indeed. Indeed, this number has not changed since 2013. In case of the Chinese side, because this is the public survey conducted by the both Japan and China, in Chinese side, indeed, the Chinese side also said they have the poor impression toward Japan. So in this case, currently, Japan and China relation is stable because Japan and China both hate each other. Simply said, we dislike you. We agree with it, with you. Such kind of situation is exist. Why is the matter? Look at this slide. This slide indicates that the military activity of China around Japan. In this red line, it represents Chinese naval route. And in the Chinese Air Force or Chinese air asset of the naval force also use this route again and again. In case of the northern part of Japan, of course, this is route Chinese Navy use in the circling around Japan. But at the same time, the last two times, Russian naval fleet also join this circling. So they are enjoying the trip around Japan, and it is not comfortable for Japan. And China's activity has expanding from the first island chain to the second island chain. It is very clear because in 2004, yes, it was the first time Chinese nuclear submarine violate Japan's territorial sea. But since 2008, China has expanding their naval exercises into the second island chain, area of the second island chain. So China is expanding the area of their naval activity from first island chain, the second island chain. If they set up the military base in the Solomon in the South Pacific, then they can expand more. The people start to call the third island chain. So expanding China's military activity around Japan push Japan to deal with it. That's why the currently nearly 90% of the Japanese do not have the good image towards China. This is also the China's military activity. Indeed, this is number of scrambles. What is scrambles? When Chinese fighter jets or the other military planes try to violate Japanese territory air, Japan's air self-defense force launch fighter jet to intercept them. That is scramble. So when we check the number of scrambles, now China violates the 458 times to the 675 in 2019. Try to violate and need to intercept it. So 1 year is 365 days. So this means that nearly every day or more, nearly every day Japan need to deal with. Indeed, of course, traditionally, Russia's plane tried to enter the Japan territory air repeatedly, but now China's number exceeded than Russia. And in case of Taiwan, that is not a new topic, but currently Japanese experts focusing on how to defend Taiwan. That is priority. Indeed, Taiwan is located just 100 kilometers from the western edge of the island of Japan. This means that currently the weapons range is more than 200 kilometers or more longer. It is very easy. Simply said, Japan cannot escape from the conflict in Taiwan. And China's naval activity, the area of China's naval activity around Taiwan is expanding, not only the continental side of Taiwan, this means Taiwan Strait, but also the South China Sea, East China Sea, and the Pacific side of Taiwan. So viewed from Japan, when China try to expand their military activity, the Pacific side of Taiwan, they cross the strait between Japan and Taiwan repeatedly. So it is avoidable for Japan to intervene the situation. That's why defense of Taiwan is security for Japan. So under such a situation, what should we do? Or what kind of features China's military activity has is the main topic now. Indeed, there are three important similarities of what China has done in the many areas in the Indo-Pacific against Japan, against in the South China Sea, or against India. Indeed, there are three similarities. China's repeated disregard for the international law is the first similarity when they claim the new territory. For example, in case of Senkaku Island, before the 1970s, China hasn't claimed the Senkaku Island of Japan as a territory, their territory. Why? Of course, there are plenty of reasons, we think, but we think there are two main reasons. First one is China has started to fund natural resources around Senkaku Island. And the second one is more important view from the current situation. If the China takes the Senkaku Island, China can make the pressure toward Taiwan. Because the location of the Senkaku Island is little north, nearly 120 kilometers, or 40 kilometers, maybe I forgot it, but nearly about such kind of the distance. So from the capital of Taiwan. So making pressure, this is the best position. And secondly, the recurring facet of the China's behavior is its exploitation of the military power vacuum. That is a very important feature. Indeed, when we check the China's territory expansion in the South China Sea, there is a pattern when China expands territories. In 1990s, when France withdrew from Vietnam or Indochina Peninsula, China take half of the Paracel Island. When the United States withdrew from Vietnam in 1970s, China take another half of the Paracel Island. In 1990s, when the USSR, in this case, Soviet troops reduced the number from Vietnam in 1980s, China occupied the sixth feature in the Bilateral Island. And in 1990s, when US withdrew from the Philippines, China occupies a Mischief Reef. So viewed from this China's territory expansion, we can identify the pattern. When they find the power vacuum, they take it. Power vacuum has created because military balance has changed. So if so, military balance, maintaining military balance is the key how to deal with China. That is a connecting issue. And indeed, there are another similarity in the other area. This is a number of the China's naval and Coast Guard activity around Japan Senkaku Island. Yes, increasing in 2012 and increasing in 2019. This is the number of the China's incursion in the Indo-China border area. In 2012, it increased, and 2019 increased. So when we overlap the two figures, we can identify the China's military activity. Simply said, China is escalating the military activity. So this is a feature. So feature related to military balance Why? Because China's rapid military modernization, China is getting the advantages and escalating their military activity around China at the same time, at all directions. So that's why we need to worry about the China's military activity. And but at the same time, they are finding the power vacuum because their military modernization is very rapid pace. That's what I want to say. Okay, we need to do that. There is a third feature. China's arguably lawless expansionism is usually paid with effort to exclude countries that are outside the region. That is another feature. When China claimed Senkaku Island, China tried to persuade Japan, United States is outsider. When China tried to talk about the Indo-China border issue, China, China asked India, the Quad will not help you. And of course, when China expands territory in the South China Sea, China say, this is the issue solved by this issue. Countries should solve by bilateral basis, not multilateral. Because if China set up China seeks a multilateral based solution, automatically this multilateral solution, including the US, Australia, or Japan, or India, that is not good for China. China wants to talk with the Philippines bilaterally. China wants to talk with Vietnam bilaterally. That is China's favor. So this is one of the feature of the China's territory expansion. So when we check the three similarities, so how to deal with it? This is the next question, next one. So if the China's feature of the territory expansion is like that, how do countries affected by China's ambitions like India and Japan respond? We have the three solutions. Firstly, countries around China must continue to respect the rule-based order grounded in current international law. China won't ignore it, and we should respect it. Secondly, China neighbors need to fill the power vacuum by increasing our defense budget. Maintaining military balance is the key. And thirdly, countries around China need to continue to enhance security cooperation with the US, Australia, or European ally also, or these like-minded countries. This is the solution. But of course, we understand this as how to do it. But practically, which framework can do it? I think most important is, of course, Quad. Firstly, Quad must continue to respect and insist upon the rule-based order grounded in current international law. So if we apply these three to the Quad, this is the first one. And second, the Quad country need to fill the perceived power vacuum by maintaining military balance. Of course, this one the same. And thirdly, Quad country need to integrate our economic efforts and reduce their reliance on China. A little improved one, but yes, this is part is very important. Indeed, especially second one, respect international law. Of course, that's important as the first one. But second one is especially we need new solution. We can identify linkage of the Indo-China border area and the East China Sea because if India has a will and capability, Japan and the US and Australia will be able to release themselves from the heavy burden of the safeguard of the security in the Indian Ocean. So the first one is linkage. So China need to divide their military forces, military budget against Japan, against India, or against countries in the South China Sea. That's why the cooperation is effective is the first one. And the second one is China is expanding their military activity in the Indian Ocean now because they are finding the power vacuum in the Indian Ocean too. That's why this cooperation is effective Because if Japan and the US need to share some naval ships to maintain the military balance in the Indian Ocean, of course, the same ship cannot deploy in the East China Sea or South China Sea or other area. But if Indian Navy will expand and take charge in the Indian Ocean, Japan and the US, Australia, concentrate their military force in the other area. That's why maintaining military balance, this is useful. And Japan and India can collaborate to support Southeast Asia. Of course, all of the Quad country can support the Southeast Asia as a collaborative project. Because in Southeast Asian country needs their military power to deter China's expansion. And maintaining military balance is very important in the South China Sea. In this case, the Quad country should collaborate to support them. Is a practical and logical solution. So, but in this case, what is new? I want to explain is, indeed, this country, Quad country, currently focusing on the strike capability. This is a list of the missiles Japan is planning to possess. Compared with the past, Japan's missile only ranges 200 kilometers in the past, or currently 200 kilometers. But Japan is planning to extend the range 500, 900, 2000. Indeed, Taiwan and South Korea also. The Taiwan just started to produce a new missile, cruise missile, which range is 1,200 kilometers. This strike capability is one of the features. This year, Japan will publish the national security strategy or other two important documents related to Japan defense strategy. But in this case, they mentioned about counter-strike capability, which the other word is strike capability. So these weapons are lining up. Indeed, Australia has already decided to possess a similar weapon. And India is seeking to possess the same capability now. So if so, all of this country has possessed long-range strike capability. China need to deal with this, all of the strike capability at the same time, and need to divide their defense budget multi-direction. And they cannot concentrate to strike, but also they need to share some budget to defend themselves. That's why to maintain military balance, this is a new method and effective. And I need to talk about the third one. So third one is related with the combination of the security and economy. Indeed, China's threat is threat of money. Why? Because China's rapid military modernization depends on China's ample budget. And indeed, when we talk about Belt and Road Initiative, which create a huge effort for the recipients and control the recipients, like Sri Lanka, Pakistan, etc., etc. So this means that China is rich. That is a problem. That is a military problem. That is a security problem. In this case, how to reduce China's income is also very important part of the security issue. That's why the decoupling is one of the solutions, but it is not easy. This decoupling is long-term process. So that this figure, what I want to show is, indeed, Japan is already started this kind of the process to leave from China, take business out of China. So this is the number of the Japanese stay in China. Number of Japanese is decreasing. Since the 2012 to the 2020, you can find the number. During the same period, Japanese stay in the United States is increased. Japanese increase in United States. Why during the same period Japan need to decrease in China? Because Japanese start to worry about the relation with China and want to reduce dependence on China. That's why Japan has already started, I want to say. So, Quad country collaboratively, Quad country should collaboratively do that. We should do it together, I want to say. So, these are the what is the China threat and how to deal with it. I want to share that in this presentation. Maybe my explanation is a little long. I should finish this. But thank you very much for listening.